FanDuel MVP. Right now, Curry is plus 140, which is interesting because I know we penciled him into first team All-NBA, but he's actually not having like an awesome Steph Curry season from a statistical standpoint. Not to defend my guy Steph. I do think teams load up on him in like the craziest ways. And there's a degree of difficulty to his numbers. And this is people, you're just making excuses because you like him. He gets mauled every game. The other team knows he's almost like a running back where the other team is just putting 8 guys on the line because they know you're going to be handing off to this guy 25 times. Every single possession is a struggle for him. And I did think he was starting to wear down the last couple weeks from it, which is why I think the Klay thing's so important. My point is he's the MVP favorite, but I don't feel like he's having one of his greatest seasons. I think his team is succeeding, but I don't think unless he picks it up and goes on one of those Steph streaks, I don't see him winning the MVP with what we've seen in the first 40 games. Do you guys?
I think he's probably the favorite right now. Is he not?
He's the favorite on FanDuel, but I'm saying like, I think people will start to pick apart the statistical resume when we get to like game 70. They'll be like, wait a second, we're going to vote for this guy? He's had 5 better seasons and he was better last year, and they're going to do the whole thing. And I think kind of undermine it a little bit unless he picks it up.
Yeah, I believe it's a career low in field goal percentage and 3-point percentage, not counting that 5-game season where he broke his hand, which is like, you take note of that. But I think you hit it, Bill, where it's just like he basically unlocks everything on that offense. He draws so much attention. He gets guys involved. He allows Draymond to effectively be a designated hitter on defense. And I do wonder what's going to happen if Klay can play up to Klay's standard, or even just stand in the corner and shoot and be an outlet for Steph, how much better Steph would be. I guess I would throw Durant in the mix because of that, but like you guys have mentioned, like the Nets are struggling right now. I think they've lost 5 of 7, so it's not exactly like they're peaking in the same way the Warriors aren't.
Well, so they're struggling. They're struggling, but the Warriors' offense has been pretty cold lately. If that continues, who among us could be blamed for a wandering eye over to Kevin Durant, who's doing 30 points on 60% true shooting? Like, he is rock steady. He's there every night. You know exactly what you're going to get, and he delivers and delivers and delivers. Kevin Durant's going to be a very appealing candidate for a lot of people. And so Steph is going to be up and down as his shooting goes. KD's just going to be there. He's going to be there in the conversation all year long.
KD's 38-6 this year, which is ridiculous. It's very on par with his 2014 MVP season, where his stats, it's like one of the great offensive forward positions ever. He's second in the FanDuel right now. He's plus 210. I think those odds should be way closer than that. I think to me, it's like Steph and Durant are the co-favorites right now. Durant's been unbelievable. And Giannis has been great too, but the team success of the fact that they're 25-17 when, for the most part, him and Holiday and Middleton have been together. They lost Lopez, obviously, but it's not, you wouldn't say that the Bucks they've had injuries, but everybody has. They've had COVID stuff, everybody has. I wouldn't say they've been ravaged by anything other than the Lopez piece. Jokic is 15-1. Giannis, is plus 850. Jokic is 15-1. Embiid's 27-1. LeBron is 30-1. DeRozan 36-1. Ja Morant 46-1. That seems too high.
A little bit.
There's a world where they're 5 games behind the Warriors in Phoenix. They have the deepest team. They're basically COVID proof in all these different ways. There's so many guys. JV, isn't there a world where Ja just goes to another level and that we have a 2011 Bulls Derrick Rose situation? Nobody else pulls away. All of a sudden, they're close to a 1 seed. It's not inconceivable, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're built for the regular season. And on the one hand, that helps Morant's case because they could theoretically just jump into the top 3, maybe even vault a team like the Jazz or even the Suns if they decide to take it easy with Chris Paul down the stretch. On the other hand, I wonder if people weaponize that against Morant because they are so deep and they were able to be successful while he was out for that little stretch.
10-2.
Yeah, so that's a tough one to really shake off when you're trying to say that this is the most valuable player in the entire league.
I wonder too if Steph is like the default number 1 right now, if we profile what to get a little electoral with this, like what a Steph MVP voter looks like and what they value. Are they going to flock to a story like Morant, who could be ascendant and incredible, or would they fall back into, Durant or Jokic or Giannis? I mean, there's just so many credible options, and frankly, a lot of guys who have a similar kind of impact, organizationally speaking, to what Steph does.
Steph won the first half narrative MVP, but it's a long season and people get bored with narratives and they move to other narratives. And we've seen it over and over again, which is why LeBron at 30-1 has to be considered. I mean, he's having an above average LeBron statistical season, right? He's 29-7-7. Usually he's 27-7-7, something there. So he's a little bit higher, but he's kind of kept them together. Now, the schedule has been abysmal. I think they have 21 wins. 16 of them were under 500 teams. They get pretty much destroyed anytime they play a good team. Memphis wiped the floor with them the other night. Schedule's getting much harder. They still have a lot of hard games left. I think to me, it's more realistic that they are a 9 or 10 or 8, whatever, in the play-in than that they would get a 5 or a 6 seed. But it's still LeBron. LeBron brings narrative stuff with him, his age, Magic Johnson tweeting about it, so it can't be ruled out. At gunpoint, just for the best odds right now, I think Durant at 2-1 is the best bet, because think of how many weird things that team's had all season, where you've had no Kyrie at all. He's played 2 games. You've 25 pounds heavier James Harden, whatever he is. You have no center. You have all these people coming in and out, and he's just carried a ridiculous workload for them. So I think they would be the co-favorites to me, and I'd probably, if I had to pick right now, I'd probably lean toward Durant. As crazy as that sounds, just because of how Curry's been shooting the last couple of weeks. So,
well, Durant's actually in a pretty good position odds-wise, because with Kyrie coming back, they're going to get better in the games that Kyrie plays, but there's also going to be this narrative thing where Kyrie isn't around. He's a part-time player, and so Durant's still going to get a ton of credit for everything the Nets do. I think he's in that sweet spot where he's going to be able to hit on both those cylinders at once.
Unfortunately, it's not a GM of the Year award, so he's not going to get penalized for that. Go ahead, Justin.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we talk about LeBron pivoting to center. I mean, Kevin Durant has been doing that for a full calendar year, to the point where Blake Griffin is, in air quotes, center, taking charges and flopping all over the place, but Durant is effectively the rim protector in these sort of lineups. So if we want to make that a big part of LeBron's case, that should already be baked into what KD has been doing for a while.